Hiya, today I'm going to be talking about taking my RID Intermediate Foundation exam. So this is the lowest level in the RID Vocational syllabus, and when I was a teenager it was just something that was never on my radar. It was something that I could never consider possible that I was ever going to do, because I only did half-hour a week and I didn't do any point work, and I just was at a standard where I was barely passing the graded exams, so there was not a chance in hell I was ever going to take a vocational. But then, becoming an adult, I can spend as much time and money as I like on taking classes, and I'm more interested in improving my technique, and so actually listening to what the teacher says and then practicing in my own time. So I was finally at a standard where my teacher said, yes, you can take the exam. And funnily enough, taking the exam wasn't even something I was actually planning on doing. I wasn't planning on taking this class at all, but I happened to be taking the class beforehand and the class afterwards, and I was like, why wait around for an hour? Just do another hour of dancing. And I'd only probably been doing it about a month, and my teacher was like, well, we're putting some girls in, do you want to go and do it with them? And I was like, yes I do. So if you want to see what dances and exercise I had to do, I have already uploaded them all on YouTube. I've just filmed myself doing them at the gym, so this isn't actually what I did in the exam, but it's that's about the standard I was dancing. I didn't do anything particularly amazing that was better than that or worse than that in the exam. To beat around the bush, I got a merit. I got 67 out of 100, and I'm really pleased with my result. That is joint best mark I've ever got in my life. I've never got distinction, and I got 67 in my grade 6 exam, which I took last March. I'm going out of focus. I'm really proud of myself. I had no idea going to the exam how well I was going to do. I was aiming for a merit, just thought distinction, not going to happen. Not going to happen. A, because I've never got it, and B, because I know people who are way better dancers than me that did not get distinction. My teacher has never had a girl get distinction in an exam, and I'm not dancing at a standard where I'm going to be the one to change that. And yeah, and then I was hoping I wouldn't get a pass, but then thought, well, I've got to dance in demi-pointe shoes, and I don't like dancing in demi-pointe shoes. My feet look awful, they affect your balance, and then you've got point work, and I shit at point. So we'll see. So anyway, I'll go through my marks. There are 10 sections, all marked out of 10, and I'll just go through them. So start out with, we have 6 sections which are just for your technique for different exercises. First one was bar. I got 7 out of 10, and I'm pleased with that because I always think bar is my best section, and yet it never shows up. I always seem to get the same technique in that as I do in others. So I'm very happy this time around. Bar was my best. Very happy with that. Then port de bras and centre practice and pirouettes, I got a 6, and that sounds about right. I think I have a nice port de bras, but I am rubbish at pirouettes, and pirouettes have definitely improved over the years, but they're still not great. So that was alright. Adage, I got a 6. I was happy with that. My teacher was very happy with that. She said this is going to be your worst section. I don't know what happened. I've just got really wobbly, and for some reason I don't straighten my underneath leg when I'm devo playing. So yeah, she said across the board, everybody that took the exam, that was going to be our worst section. And it was, but 6 isn't bad, so I'm alright with that. Allegro, I also got a 6. Now I love Allegro, but then I watch myself on the video and I'm just like, that's not very neat, is it? You're not really pointing your foot. And there's just lots of little niggles I can see, and it's like, it doesn't look as good as it feels. And then in Allegro 2, which is the one with the C-zones in it, I C-zoned the wrong way in the girl I was doing it with. Then we have a free enchaînement, which is just a short exercise that the examiner sets you in the exam. You don't know what it's going to be. It's either going to involve C-zones, assemblées, or jetés ordinaires. And I'm very glad it was C-zones. I much prefer C-zones to the other steps. Assemblées are never neat. I never seem to get my feet pointed together in the air. I can get them together in the air and just whack my ankles together. And yeah, they're just not neat and tidy, so I'm glad I didn't have that. And jetés ordinaires, you have to do devant and derrière. And devant just confuses me, just because you never ever do it in real life. We don't do any ballet in real life, but you don't ever do it in class. You only ever seem to do derrière, so it seems very unnatural. So C-zones, happy with, and I got a 7 in that. So very pleased with that. And then the last technique mark was for pointe, and leading up to the exam I was quite worried about pointe. My teacher was even suggesting that possibly in the future I might want to do male syllabus if my point work isn't up to scratch, because for this exam you just have to get 40 overall and you get a pass. But in higher grades you have to get 4 out of 10 in each section, so you can't sort of make it up somewhere else, you have to get 4. So there were worries I wasn't going to get 4 in this exam, and I actually got a 6, so I'm really quite pleased with that, but I really don't know how it happened. I think I went to the exam and did the best that I've ever done on pointe for those exercises, and I did do a lot of practice leading up to the exam to make sure, and I made sure I performed and smiled and thought about my posture, because I thought my feet work isn't going to be brilliant. And then the girl that I did it with, she's way better at pointe than me. Like, undeniably fantastic at pointe compared to me. And she got a 6 as well, so I don't have a clue what the examiner was thinking either way. But yeah, but in a way, it's kind of nice sort of showing that I have made some sort of improvement and that it's worth continuing on with pointe, because I think if I'd got a 3 or a 4, I thought, what's the bloody point? Let's just be a boy in the exam, why not? But yeah, 6 is quite reasonable, so I'm okay with that. Then there are 2 marks for music and performance, and this is where I got my highest marks. I got 8s for both of these, and I'm really happy with that. My teacher is as well, because my teacher went on for ages about timing. I am dreadful about going too fast, and she's really sort of like drummed it into me to slow down, listen to the music, and I feel like I do, but I still sort of get excited and get ahead of myself and go too fast. So yeah, that went really well. And then performance I'm really happy with as well, because just before my exam, about a month before, I went to Morocco on a ballet retreat, and I just spent a whole week dancing with a ex-royal ballerina, and she was all about performance and how you hold your head and your posture and things like that. So I was really determined that I was going to take all her hints and tips and sort of corrections into account. And my teacher said even like the first class back after that course that she could see my dramatic improvement. So I was really proud with that. And then I got the 8 exam, and yeah, it just shows it paid off. And then the last thing you do in the exam is a variation. Just a short variation, I think it's about a minute long. I've got a video somewhere of it. And this is out of 20. You get a mark out of 10 for your technique, and then a mark out of 10 for your performance. So I got 6 for my technique and 7 for my performance. And I'm very happy with that. I think the dance went well. I don't think it went the best I've ever done it. But yeah. No! Sorry for changing angle, my camera just died. Yeah, overall I'm really happy with how the whole exam went. I felt I danced particularly well. I could have done a few things a little bit better, but not brilliantly. And yeah, I'm just really happy with my result. The reason I like taking exams is not that just you can track your progress, but it gives you something to work towards and gives me a reason to actually have to get good at something. Like, especially with pointe work, I was seriously considering giving up pointe work because I really wasn't seeing an improvement. I hated my shoes. I hated the fact that I couldn't do anything. And then having to stand in front of examiners, like, right, okay, in 2 months' time, I need to get to the point where I can dance in front of her in these shoes without embarrassing myself. Since the exam, I have started taking another pointe class, so I'm now doing an hour-and-a-half pointe a week, and I am slowly seeing improvements. And I think more than anything, it's just my confidence has grown, and I'm more willing to try new steps, whereas before I'd sort of like wimp out, and if you wimp out, you're really not going to get over points, which means it's not going to succeed. So that's one thing I'm really happy about. No, overall, I'm just glad the examiner can sort of agrees with what I think are my strong points, which are my performance and my bar and C-zones. I like C-zones. Yeah, and that there are still things that need a lot of work. I'm still not great at pirouettes, and if I want to do intermediate, I'm going to have to be able to do double pirouettes and poses, so that'd be fun. Yeah, I'm still wobbly on my adage. Yeah, watching things, there's still a lot that I can improve on, but watching it, I can also see how I've improved even since March when I did my other exam. So, yeah, onwards and upwards.